Hello everyone and welcome to another Minecraft Redstone tutorial. My name is Glitch. Today we are looking at making an early game semi-automatic chicken cooker for you to use in your survival world. Now a stable source of food is one of the basic needs that you need to grind for whenever you start a world. But many of the current designs for automated food farms rely on observers and comparators, which in turn means either grinding for trades with a villager or a nether trip. And while both of these options are possible, as part of a personal challenge to rethink Redstone and see what is possible early game, I came up with a design that works in both Bedrock Edition and Java Edition, uses only simple Redstone components, and as long as you have roughly a half a dozen chickens in the holding chamber, will produce a decent amount of food, as well as feathers for making arrows. Now the farm works by having a bunch of chickens up in the glass holding area, and they are standing on top of a hopper which is behind our lava. The eggs that they lay fall through the hopper into a dispenser here below the lava, and then a simple redstone clock is set up to fire the eggs out of the dispenser into the slab. Now, when each one hits the slab, because each egg has a 1/8 chance of spawning a chick, you will soon have some chicks standing under the lava. Now at this point they're not tall enough to be in the lava, but when they grow up they'll start to take damage and die, and then their drops will pass through the slab into another hopper and on into our barrel for collection. While the farm will load itself on its own, it will require some interaction from the player. However, this is mainly just to activate it and clear out the eggs. In truth, the farm is only semi-automatic for noise control. Though if you can live with the constant tick of a dispenser, you can forego the on-off switch and go full auto. That being said, now that we've seen the farm in action, let's move over to a creative world and dive into the build. For this build, you will need the following supplies. Roughly half a stack of structure blocks, 6 glass, 5 slabs, a trapdoor of your choice, a lava bucket, a barrel, 2 hoppers, 1 dispenser, 2 repeaters, 1 redstone torch, some redstone dust, and a lever. You will also need either some eggs to get your initial chickens for the holding chamber, or you will need to lead some chickens to it. For the tutorial, we'll be spawning them in using spawn eggs. You will also need an area that is 3 blocks wide by 4 blocks deep. The farm itself is 4.5 blocks tall, and you will need to dig 1 block into the ground to place in the redstone wiring. Now if you're building this farm in survival, you may want to set up a simple egg farm while you gather the resources and build the actual farm. Doing this will make it easier to get chickens into the holding chamber because these guys will be doing the work while you are doing yours. So you can make a simple egg farm by running a hopper into a barrel, and then you build up a simple 1 block enclosure with glass that is 2 blocks tall. Cap it off with a trapdoor, and then you just need to get at least 2 chickens into the holding chamber, and then you can just feed them seeds to breed them, and they will handle the rest. And then while you're working, they will lay their eggs and you can collect them here in the barrel. So while they do their thing, let's move on to the build. So to start things off, take out your barrel and place it on the front center block of the farm, then come around back and you're going to crouch place a hopper into the back of your barrel. Then place down a temporary block behind the hopper, come back around front, and you're going to place down a dispenser facing forward on your temporary block. Then take out a slab and crouch place that on top of your hopper. Now, because we're going to be working with lava in this build, it is best to wire the farm up first and then build over it. And because we aren't using observers, we're going to use a repeater clock to fire the dispenser. Now, a repeater clock works by taking a power source and running it in a continuous loop. So in this demonstration model, our torch is our power source, which, because it is on, it powers this repeater, which sends the signal on through the redstone dust into the second repeater, which in turn powers this block. Now, because this repeater is powering the block, it inverts the torch, which then cuts off the power to the system, but then as soon as the power is gone, the torch reactivates and then passes on the signal to this repeater, and the loop continues. Now, with this clock, you can take a signal out of it by placing a block anywhere next to the torch. You also have the option to toggle the clock by placing down a constant power source like a lever, because now both pieces of dust are powered. The loop cannot continue because the dust cannot run the opposite direction into the repeater. Now, a couple of advantages of this type of clock is the fact that it is reliable. These are a very reliable source, and for timing. The other advantage is the fact that they can be changed and variable. So if you want to increase the amount of time for your timer, you simply add in more delay. And then if you want to speed things up, you simply decrease the amount of delay and the clock speeds up again. The last advantage is that these things are very available. All of the components that are here are craftable as soon as you find redstone in your world. So that's the concept for the redstone. Let's go ahead and add it into the build. So to place in the redstone, start out by breaking out the block on the right side of your barrel, and then you want to break out the 2 rows of blocks, the one under your hopper and also the one under your dispenser. And you can break out this temporary block as well. And we'll come to the other side. So you should end up with these 6 blocks free, as well as the one next to the barrel. Then place down a line of redstone dust in the gap, and then go ahead and place a block over top of the dust next to your barrel, and then you can place a lever on the face of that block. Then come around to the side, and in the gap you want to place down a redstone repeater facing away from you. Then come around to the opposite side and do the same. So you should have your 2 repeaters facing in opposite directions. And then the one closest to your barrel, run the repeater into a block, and then on the face of that block, place down a redstone torch. This should start our signal loop. So then if we come over and activate our lever, it sends out a signal and it locks our clock, and therefore the clock stops. Now let's go ahead and cover this over. Then once you've covered over the repeater clock, place down a piece of redstone dust on the block next to your dispenser. So that way, if you deactivate your lever, the clock activates again and our dispenser begins to fire. Let's go ahead and turn that off for now. Now that the redstone is in, place 2 pieces of glass over your barrel, and then you are going to want to build 2 blocks of structure blocks up, making sure to leave the area over your slab and over the dispenser free. Now take out a hopper and crouch place it into the top of the dispenser, and then take out your lava and place it over your slab. it should hover half a block over the slab because that is the way physics work in this game. And then take out a piece of glass and place it over top of the lava. Then take your glass and build around your hopper so that you can build the holding chamber and then place a slab over each piece of glass. This will help to keep the chickens from jumping over the 1 block tall chamber and escaping. And then just for good measure, take out a trapdoor, place it in the gap, and then after this, all you need to do is get the chickens into the farm itself. Now, you can do this, as I said before, either by luring them into the trapdoor seeds, or you can take some of the eggs that have been building up in our egg farm and toss them in, and eventually you'll spawn some chicks. Once they grow up in the holding chamber, you could then breed them with seeds to the amount of chickens you want to use. For now, we're just going to go ahead and use some spawn eggs to get us a couple. And now all we need to do is wait for them to start laying eggs, and the farm is complete. So once you start hearing that little pop for them laying eggs, you are on your way to a steady diet of tasty, toasty poultry products. Now the rates on this farm can be a touch on the random side. This is due in part to the fact that you can have anywhere from 1 to 24 chickens laying eggs, and each egg will only have a random chance of spawning a chick. But like most early game farms, the efficiency you sacrifice is in some ways gained back by the fact that you don't have to gather, farm, and cook to keep your hunger bar full. I hope you find this build useful as you start exploring your worlds. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, and also consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. My name is Glitch, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.